All right, so back to this. I'm really behind on uploading. I'm like 4 parts behind. I'm gonna get them all up though. Yeah, I was just busy these past few days, so I wasn't really able to. But I'll be able to get them all up. Um, I can even check. So what part is this? I believe this is part like 13, and of course it's off the fucking video. So let's see. Yeah, this is part 13. Where am I on YouTube? I believe I'm on part 10 as of this recording. So let's see. Yeah. So again, I'm just behind. But again, that was just I've been busy these past few days. So but what ends up coming down towards is yeah, I mean the big thing there is again, you know, yeah, it's just something to where it's like again, we'll see, right? Like, oh, because I also have those, and then the black screen video I just made, which should be up before this one. Yeah, I made again because due to the just convenient timing of where we're at now, with how kind of I guess pivotal or like what would you call it, monumental it is within the game itself. Like right after that first climax, I made a black screen video on it. So that's something to where it's like again, at the end of the day, yeah, I guess I mean, we'll see what's going to happen from here on out because we're past that point, right? So it's like, I mean, seemingly we're in a completely different chapter, right? Chapter 3 or whatever. So the big thing in this seems to be, what would you call it? Like we're gonna rebuild the team, I guess, was seemingly implied by the title. I mean, who knows? I feel like we're past the point of no return, but I guess, we'll see, right? That's what that ultimately ends up coming down to. The big thing there is just, yeah, who knows, right? It's just something towards like, yeah. I mean, granted, and you can watch the Black Stream video I made. Like, honestly, I don't think it's been too bad thus far. The main, again, major critique I had is the whole gameplay, mechanic thing where it's like, why is it a different single fucking mini game for everything? Like, I just feel like that's a blatant oversight, right? To where it's like it seems like every battle is going to be a combination of you go in, you figure out what mechanic or game like mini game it is, die, restart. Again, it's just I don't know. Or at least if it's different, keep it the same buttons, but it's like different buttons. And it's like, okay, what does this do? Right. But again, other than that, I honestly don't think it's been too bad. Grant, I'm not gonna say it's been great, but I don't think it's been like god awful or like disaster or horrible. Like I think it's been very like average so far. I mean, the big things that are kind of keeping me that I've again that I guess make it interesting to me or like are keeping me going is Vel. I think she's a very interesting character. The fact that again she's a soul survivor from another, I feel like that's something that has the potential to be very interesting, can be explored upon later on, which hopefully it is, but chances are they might also just completely ignore it. And then also, Alex, right? Even though I said his character is kind of generic and bland, I'm kind of stand behind him with everything that's happened thus far. It's like dude just kind of got roped in. Like he like, we're in the same boat as him. We need info too. So what that ends up coming down towards is again the big thing there being that I mean, yeah, just I guess we'll see though as it goes on because as we learn more and as I mean, it's not like he's weak in any sense. He's probably one of our most powerful again, just due to his speed, right? But it's like yeah, just we'll see, we'll see. I mean, we won't know until we continue on. I was just glad we were able to save and I was able to figure out how to get past the point, you know, um, in the last part. And then also the big thing being, dude, when are we going to see our names, right? Like our name's Sunny. We haven't come across that at all. So, oh yeah. And then here's our mother, right? And then we can have seem, I assume it's going to have something to do with the soul spirits, but of course, who knows there, right? So, what do you mean? Like, dude, like he grew out his beard? Dude, like he's probably stopped growing. Like, he's not that much taller than there. Bro, he's like, that's the motherfucker should have just literally ignored the grocery note. He wouldn't have to deal with any of this. That's rough. Like, yeah, sleeping at work is like, I God forbid, because like, okay, my current well, sometimes I sleep at work, but that's okay, like field work, right? That's a different story because you're just out there anyway, right? But if you're sleeping in your office, that's rough, right? I hope to God I never end up in that situation. That's yeah, that is yeah, so far I haven't been able to. I've been lucky, but you haven't there's no way you haven't fucking showered for 3 weeks. Dude, that's why it's like there's zero chance. Like you would be like disgusting. Like you would legit be like dealing with issues if you went that long without showering. So because this is like okay, because we know again the whole backstory and what he was talking about, right? That she supposedly worked a decade's worth of work in 1 year, right? I don't even think with my current line of work, if I continued it for the whole year, I'd be able to do that, right? That's just absurd. Like you'd be working like 100 plus hours every single fucking week for that to be the case. But hits some, and then maybe for like part time. But again, the big thing there is like, okay, she worked her ass off, basically paid for the entirety. Also, we know they have what I find interesting too is like this is a 6-person family. And the only other person we've seen so far is the mother. We know there's a father and then 3 are siblings, but we haven't seen them at all. Michael isn't our sibling. So it's like again, I feel like that's something where it's like, okay, why? Like, if anything, make him like an only child because you can kind of develop some, backstory or like some, character from that. But it's like, dude, we know we have all these siblings, and so it's like, okay, what happened to him, right? Oh shit! So she got fired. All right, kid. Never mind. Completely different fucking story, dude. What is she fucking working? Dude, what job does she have? Working a decade's worth of work in 1 year and then gain. Like, listen, I understand work is rough, right? And at least when you're starting off to work, you don't really have that much of a choice, right? Like, again, I'm in a very unique, like specific, like special case scenario. But for most people, when they start off working, it's like, I mean, you're kind of at the bottom. You're like at the lowest rung, or you're like at the bottom of the totem pole, regardless of whatever your work is at, whether you're working like, like she mentioned fast food, or if you're like, let's say working some like, even if you're like, let's say you're actually using your STEM degree and you're working in some like technical job, you're still at the bottom of the totem pole at the end of the day. So you don't really have that much of a choice when you start off. But like, I hate to say it by that age, when you're a mother and father, right? By the time you've worked a bit, and you've grown older, like, you should like really be like, I don't want to say like moving up the ranks because that makes it seem like very well, it is hierarchical, but that makes it seem like it's a fucking like straight line up. But like, you should at least move to a position to where you have more like job security and more like comfort there. Like, you shouldn't be in a position to where like, oh, all of us got laid off. Like, okay, are you still at the bottom of the totem pole after however many years? Like, I hate to say it, that sounds like a you problem. So okay, never mind. Department wide. That's what I was gonna say. Like, bitch, where does she work at? Like, what company is this? She's like the whole department gets scrubbed. Like that. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like mad sus. Like, there's got to be stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, there's like, yeah, they're like, like if that's the case, the company's probably going under, dude. Like, dude, that's like, why the fuck would you say that? That's like the worst response, bro. But of course, he doesn't have that. He wouldn't know, right? I mean, well, A, she's lying. B, it doesn't matter. So she'll okay, but that's just there's always a bigger fish, right? There's always a bigger fish. That's what you gotta remember. Even if she's the head of the department, like yeah, literally. So yeah, well, also this is probably his sign to, okay, he's a college grad, even if he's because it makes sense to live again, special case scenario for me. But if I like, let's say, just went the standard route and graduated from college, I'd live at home for a bit. I mean, because it's like if you're raking it, so long as you have a job and you're raking in cash, right? That shouldn't, unless you have some weird like beef with your parents, like that shouldn't, or like some extenuating circumstance, that really shouldn't be. And that's what most people expect, unless I guess that'd be very naive and idealistic to think you're going to graduate and then just go off somewhere, right? It's like that's not unless you have like some really nice things lined up. But it's like, this is his kind of cue and sign to where, okay, he probably shouldn't be messing around with, I guess at this point he's too committed, right? He's in too deep, he's too vested. But he should probably, pick up a job, start working, right? Well, okay, savings, like, yes, ideally, but I mean, if she's in a position to where her whole department could get scrubbed, like, let's if you're in that kind of position, like, I don't wanna say you have a ton of savings, but, like, you probably still have savings, but it's like, savings usually are only for a certain amount of, like, okay, usually what happens is people say, "Oh, I want X amount for savings. I set X amount aside in a savings account." If you're actually doing it, that's how most people do it. If you're doing it like you're actually supposed to, you should have whatever amount for a certain periods of time that you could survive without work. So, like, for example, that could be like 3 months, 6 months, a year, right? But just if you do it like you're actually like how you're actually supposed to, it should be okay, whatever amounts that I can live off of without work for X amount of time, right? Versus just, oh, set some random amount aside, right? So it's like, I mean, right now I don't have I'm in the first category where I just have, whatever random amount, set aside, right? But that's also because I need to develop my savings, and that's also something to where, again, special circumstances. But then also, I'm taking retirement into account too, right? So eventually, I'll expand my savings as I get paid more. But right now, I have pretty decent job security, so I'm prioritizing more and investing in my retirement early on. So that way, again, when I do earn more, eventually, right, I can still keep investing in my retirement, but then set more aside for savings. It's like, again, that's just more like technical, right? But obviously, by this point, she should have. But again, it's like we don't really know their situation. So, I mean, yeah. Wait, yeah, hold on. He said we. Who is this we? You are a college grad. Like you are on your okay, because he doesn't pay rent, right? But it's like, again, this is the sign for him to be like, because, and again, you have to give her props for kind of being respectful about it. Because again, if she's really been slaving away and paying for all of her kids' college, right? Or, the big thing there is like, okay, what that ends up coming down towards is he kind of needs to pick up the slack and advocate for himself, right? Like, granted, again, she's being respectful about it because again, the kind of the implicit task here is okay, he needs to like step up because she's not can't doesn't have work at the moment. So, but she's not saying it directly. Granted, because like if I were in her position, I'd be like, the serious talk would be like, okay, you need to like get a job basically. It'd be like, I don't care what it is, but you need to start like working, right? But I guess we'll see what this leads to. Literally, it's like that's part of it. Uh, okay, ideally, right? But at the end of the day, the ideal is different from the practical reality, right? Like, and again, this is something where it's like at the end of the day, he wouldn't know. Because again, it's like, and he himself, his cloaked version said it like, oh, you're just some rich kid who doesn't understand real world problems, right? Whose parents provide everything for you. I mean, because that's just kind of what that ends up coming down to is like, because he says this, granted, this is basically like an insult, but it's like he doesn't know that. Because again, at the end of the day, like, again, he's just not aware, right? He just doesn't know. Like that doesn't make him a bad person. It's just naive, like when it comes to this kind of stuff. So anyway, okay, I just got some weird ass text from a friend of mine. Just ignore that. Ugh, Jesus. I also got some like I don't know. I'm not sick, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just allergies. It's that time of year, but because I'm going to be honest, if I really had to do it, well, okay. So also this is due to the fact that they have like four fucking kids. Like, granted, again, I'm not going to say don't have kids, but it's something to where it's like that kids are very, what would you call it? A very big expense. Like, I believe it's something where I think they did a study or something. It's like you end up as a parent, you spend about like 200 or 300K on your kid throughout the course of their like childhood. Granted, that could be complete bullshit. I'm pulling that out of my ass, but it's like, again, like I feel like this is kind of, I hate to say it. I don't want to say it's on her, but it seems like to be kind of on her to where it's like, okay, you had four kids, right? You don't have the greatest job security. You're fully funding, your kids, college when they don't really seem to know what they want to do. Like, I feel like there are things that should have been taken care of or addressed before we reach this point, right? Like again, I'm not blaming this on her, not blaming this on him, right? I feel like they each have, some sort of like stake, obviously stake, but they each have some sort of like falls in this, right? For her, for kind of doing all this, and him, not really knowing what he wants to. But that's like that should have been addressed earlier. No, I feel like this is a conversation you have specifically before college, right? As like people, I think people they look down on like kids. Like, granted, kids are stupid, and this is coming from me as a fucking like young adult who still does stupid shit, right? Like I'm 22 and I do stupid shit, right? I still do stupid stuff, like because I'm still, I'm not at my midlife crisis yet. Hopefully not, but you know, I still got a lot to live for, so I'm still learning, right? But even like as a younger kid, right? Same thing, like do stupid shit, but something where it's like I mean, that's pretty much when you're expected to make decisions regarding your career. So it's like high school was like this is a conversation you should have had when he was at the high school. It's like, okay, I'd be willing to like, fund your college. We're in good, we don't have the greatest job security, but I can make it happen if I do XYZ. But like you need to know what you want to do or else this isn't gonna work out. Cause it seems like again, but it's also the issue with trophy, sons, right? But it's also like that's a separate conversation. But it's like also like I wish we knew about the R siblings because that would give us a better picture, and then it's also like it'd make things more interesting because otherwise he might as well be an only child. Okay, well, sister, we okay. So what about the other two, right? And then how many years did he spend? Okay, that's 100% on him. There's no way, like as a freaking there. Okay, this is going on Alex, right? This is on Alex. You should not have spent 5.25 years for a fucking LAS degree, right? Like let's be real here. Okay, engineering and STEM, even those are usually 4.5, but sometimes you can do a combined undergrad and then grad program that'll be like 5 or 6. So different case scenario there, but it's like, yeah, I mean, okay, that's on him. Like, yeah, there's no way. Like me, I graduate. Okay, this I'm not trying to flex. Like, I graduated in 4, and that was with like zero transferable AP credits and extra requirements, right? So like I think like 14 or 16 extra credit hours that were just independent from my degree that I needed, and I was still able to get that done within 4. Granted, again, I had a very like weird circumstance to where I was like, okay, I front loaded all these credits, like COVID hit in the smack dab in the middle of college, right? you know, and then like all this art stuff. So it was a bit again extenuating circumstance, but it's like okay, like let's put it this way: if you take an extra semester, all right, I feel like that's understandable. My very first roommate had to take an extra semester because he took a class that he needed. What was it? The last semester, the very last one. I think it was his like because he was going for some math degree. I think it was he was like math and CS. I think he took a class he needed that he planned to take the very last semester, but he wasn't able to pass. He like ended up dropping it. So he just took ninth semester and then took that along with some of our bullshit class. But because he was able to put more time into it, right? He was able to pass. But so like an extra semester, okay, that's understandable. An extra like 3, like 5.25, like, okay, dude, like but again, it all comes back to they should have had this conversation prior to him going to college. Like, I feel like this also comes from sort of the naivety and sort of naive, like idealist, like it comes from sort of the naive, and I guess, what would you call it? There's a better term for it. I guess what's there's a better term for it. The misguided thought that like okay their and this is something I know from generations above. I'm talking about the generation above myself, so like older millennials like Gen X, because I guess Alex is your typical fucking millennial, right? But like Gen Xers and like I feel like it's sort of a naive, like I guess misleading like thought that okay, our experience will be the same as theirs, right? For them, college was much less. Fucking baby boomers, they didn't even have to go to college. They could get a job right out of high school. Their high school diploma, right? Get that job, get that house, get that car, have that 4-person family unit, and then live a wonderful life, right? Gen Xers, okay, they were the first generation where they really kind of had to, but even then, it was still cheap as fuck. And their generation, the college degree was the new high school, right? So like they can use it for anything. For us, and what I'm referring to is like younger millennials and like older Gen Z, right? not only is college way more expensive, but you also like your degree actually matters, like, with what you get. It's not just like you smack your degree like on a fucking table. It's like, okay, get me whatever. It's like, okay, you actually need to like apply ourselves. So it's part of that naive, misguided, I'd say sort of mentality from his mother to where it's like, okay, like he can just go get his degree and he'll be all well off, right? Because clearly that's not the case here. But then again, it all comes back to him. It's like, okay, dude, like if you were struggling, you should, because again, they should have had this conversation before he went off, right? Like near the end of high school. But for him, it's like, okay, dude, if you were struggling that much, like, dude, 5 and a quarter, like, okay, that's on you, my guy. Like, you should not have taken more than one extra semester. Also, again, his sister, but we know it's a family of six. So maybe their grandparents are in the house. I don't know. Where the fuck is my cursor? Oh, you get a job. That's what he did. That's what you need to say. I mean, that's because this conversation needed like, I'm not blaming his mother because this conversation needed to happen eventually. It just should have happened earlier, right? But it's like for his situation, and again, this doesn't need to be like an argument. Like it's not like, oh, she's at fault, he's at fault. They're just again, things should have happened that didn't, and now they just kind of need to deal with the repercussions. So it's like, okay, she needs to look for more work. He needs to really get a job, even if it's in something fucking stupid, right? Just so he's working and bringing in income. Again, living at home is still fine, right? I mean, because he's not paying rent, you know, like it's something where it's like, I guess like some people, like, there's this weird thought among, I guess, like parents where it's like, oh, I'm going to kick my kid out 18, right? It's like, you're setting them up for failure with that, right? Because it's like, it's not the same situation, this isn't how it was back then. Things are different. But then also, it's like, you're not, unless your kid's like doing some real stupid shit, like, you're not expending that much more. And if they do get a job, they're able to rake in much more and put much more towards the house than if they were living on their own. So, that's why it's like, again, you need like transitions, like people underestimate, like, again, it's like you don't go from one step to another, right? It's like, okay, but this Mr. Bachelor's degree, fancy degree, that's specifically that naive and sort of misguided mindset or mentality when it comes to what it means to have a college degree and what that can do for you. Dude has literally, I'm pretty sure, what did he say? He had a degree in philosophy. Like, dude, that's unironically like, I'm not sure if he said philosophy or someone else brought up, but it's like, dude, that's like arguably, it's hilarious. I saw a comment. It's like arguably one of the hardest degrees with like the least amount of job prospects because it's all this fucking metaphysical bullshit. And that's like, okay, what does that degree get you? Nothing, right? Again, being reasonable here, right? I feel like she's being reasonable, but also again, still inherently flawed and tainted. But then he also needs to recognize, like, okay, I need to be reasonable by actually getting a job, okay, like this is perfect. Like I feel like in again, obviously it's not going to be okay. He's not going to get a job as a fucking philosopher or whatever think tank or fucking, assistant professor. Like, it's hilarious. I also write a comment like freaking dude, we're back in here. Oh my god. I also write a comment about how freaking like LAS degrees, they're like freaking like what's it called? Pyramid schemes. You get the degree, the only job prospect is teaching, so you can teach other people to get the degree. That's what you have to say. I mean, that's again, it's like, yeah, to be fair, okay, like I put it on him that he took fucking 5 semesters, right? Like this is perfectly like reasonable him getting a job here. So like again, that's the thing there, right? So dude, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, what is this? I mean, because here's the thing. For me, if I'm gonna be a whole entirely honest. I had a job lined up out of college, but again, extenuating, it's a very special case scenario. Like my job in my current line of work is independent from my degree. It's for something else specifically. Granted, I need a degree for it, but it's independent of what I specifically studied. So if I didn't have this lined up, like in it, I actually tried to get a job through my degree, I probably wouldn't be like, bro, what? Oh my god, dude, what the fuck? So are we gonna care about this whole, reuniting thing, or are we just gonna get a job? Does this actually like is this where like endings and like, those kinds of stuff will actually make a difference? Again, who knows, right? But it seems like, is our mom in the kitchen? Can we speak to her? Okay. Again, literally family of six. Again, so the father's somewhere, we know we have we couldn't go through here before, right? Yeah, we could not go through here before. That's why I was like, wait a second. Yeah, what the actual fuck? Damn, we have a big ass backyard. Holy shit. Dude, wait, what the fuck? Okay, there's some like weird funky shit going on back here. I don't know what's here. Let's just go in and see where that's why I was like, we were never able to access this before. Where the fuck are we? Where is this? Mountain radio tower. Why is this guy black? Like, what the fuck? That's why I'm like, damn, bitch, this fucking town's in a forest. Dude, is this a maze? Oh my god. Yeah, we were never able to access this before. Okay, yeah, let's save. I'm curious to see what this is. So, but yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess who knows, right? But like him, okay, you really should have taken five. Fuck, like, like that I'll put on him. But for me, if I didn't have my current line of work and I was trying to actually get a job through my degree, YIIK is coming. Who the fuck is YIIK or Y2K? Oh my god. Wait, what? Oh my god. Y2K is coming. Yeah, why didn't I fucking read that as YIIK? Let's okay, let's get that chest. But yeah, the big thing there is what would you call it? Like I'd probably be living at home and I'd probably have a job that's like independent. I'd have a short-term job that I would get first for however long. I'd probably literally be like, a I don't want to say fast food worker. I'd do some like low level like service retail job and then try to set something up with my degree. And that would take, who knows how long, right? Probably like however many like I don't want to say years, but like ideally it'd be months, but maybe years, and then that way I can rack up a decent amount of savings if because it probably wouldn't even that's oh shit, Jesus Christ. Because oh my god, we nearly made it. Because it's probably like being honest, it probably wouldn't even be within the local area. It would be, something to where it's really just us. Okay, that's a problem. I was gonna say if we had all four of us, that wouldn't be an issue. But if it's just us, we should probably hold off on battling. But again, it's like, what would you call it? The big thing there is that, yeah, it's like, but again, it's like, it seems like they're at least both like, Jesus Christ. It seems like they're both semi respectful of Jesus Christ. Let's see. Oh my god, resist us. This ain't good sign. Oh my god. We might actually die because of this. Oh, thank fuck. I was gonna say, like, because I fucked up the combos, but again, I mean, but this I feel like this is kind of the reality for a lot of, households where stuff they don't really think about ahead of time ends up kind of I guess that's you can make that argument for pretty much everything in life, but like it's stuff towards like, oh Jesus Christ. Hold on, I need to freaking F2 real quick so I can heal. Oh dude, that was close. Dude, that holy shit. Okay, so 30. Where's 30 HP? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, dude, we barely got that. What the fuck is this? At least it's only one enemy. Oh, it outsped us. That's a problem. Oh, this ain't too bad if it's only one, but if you get like two, like or four, it really like fucks you up. Damn. How many more enemies are there? Oh, I didn't wait, what the fuck? Oh, you go through here. All right. So I guess this seems to be kind of just like an extra area. I'll go through this and then probably end it. Yeah, let's not even try to fight this because it's like, I mean, I feel like, oh my god. Oh, this guy ain't too fast. We can outspeed him. Oh my god, maybe not. Oh my god. Oh my god. How many fucking times? Is this area like much bigger than I thought? Yeah, I mean, I feel like as just ourselves, we're taking a very, what would you call it? Calculated risk. Jesus Christ. Wait, what? Oh, we do it like this. There we go. Let's go here first and do whatever. I didn't even, I need to do that for here now though, right? So it's not, guess we just get it like this. Jesus Christ. Oh my fucking, there we go. It's like we, oh wait, what the fuck? I was like, how did I end up there? Yeah, we need to fight this guy. Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's very dangerous that we're doing this with just ourselves. Also, we know we have a weakness, or it might be better just to run away from this fight. But it might also just KO us, right? Like if this, yeah, it resists. So especially with this, because you're not guaranteed to get dodge every time. So oh fuck. All right, yeah, yeah, so here, okay, you know what? I'm gonna hold off on this. Yeah, let's actually just not continue. Go to the last save point beforehand and just because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know we could go in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold off. At least now we know we can access this, right? But what I'll do, can we also yeah, we definitely could not access that before. That's why I was like, I you're fucking kidding me. There we go. I was like, why the fuck? But yeah, that's what I was like. We definitely cannot access that. So yeah, we can't again, I find that interesting, but yeah, so again, also I'm curious. I wanted to see if there's also hold on. I don't think we ever like looked at like the TV. Oh, all right. Let's see. So is she in a room? All right. Okay, so they're not here, right? So let's see. Again, so this all stuff, right? I was curious because it seems like now after this first climax, because again, hints, right? What would you call it? Like let's see what the hint actually says. Yeah, visit shops. Okay, so it looks like work is, the primary. But I was gonna say, the big thing there also seems to be what would you call it? Like reconnect. I mean, the chapter is literally called like it's like reconnected with the game or something. So yeah. So and I guess what's interesting is yeah, we don't have friends, so we can't like do this. So yeah, I was gonna say, how much XP do we have? Yeah, so again, that's why I'm like, we have more than enough. So yeah, so let's do this, right? Again, I'm not going back there because the big thing is like, yeah, oh, that's for Vela, right? Do this for strength. And then the R1 we can do for luck. So just optimizing this here, right? Now it's that's done, we can head. Oh shit, that's why I'm like, oh fuck, I was about to say, are we stuck? Yeah, exit the dungeon and then go back to the real world. So I'm so here's what I'm gonna do. Before I'm actually just gonna save and end it here. Like I feel like we're at a pretty good stopping point. I guess kind of the interesting thing is it seems like we're at a point to where it kind of branches off, and this seems to be where okay, we can really kind of do what we want and explore and see where we can go from here, right? Yeah, before it seemed pretty linear, and it's something where it's like, okay, to where it's like, yeah, just I mean, who knows about the fucking ending and shit, right? But it's like, again, at least we have that option. So that I don't really have anything else to say for this one. So yep, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.